Capricorn charts the stars.
Hey everybody, this is Slappy White with Creators of the First. We're here to talk about Wonders of the First, and of course, everybody's super excited because the Shattering is coming this week. It finally arrived. We are just excited about that. Coming to you live on, let's see, what is today? Today's Monday, March 2nd. We're going live at noon Eastern. We'll see if we can stay in this time slot. I will say with the Shattering happening this coming weekend, a lot of us will be traveling home from the Shattering. So not going to happen next Monday, but we'll get something scheduled again. Want to bring up, first I want to bring up Capricorn, who has some great things to share with us. Oh, Capricorn. Carolina girl, who has some great things to share with us. So Grace, is that you're going to share some spoilers with us, right?
Yes, I am. I'm very excited.
All right, and we are, this is going to be a special 30-minute speed edition. That's speed for us, folks. I also want to bring up Capricorn, who we're going a little bit late live here. And Capricorn has these wise words for us coming to you live a little bit late afternoon Eastern. Cap?
I think you're muted.
Grace, don't. I want to see how long you could go on mute.
A stone seeker arrives neither late nor early, but precisely as intended. Okay?
And muted.
Get out of here. And muted.
All right.
Listen, someone cast a silence spell on me. I don't know what to tell you.
Capricorn, are you going to the Shattering?
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? I'll be there for every second, every moment. I will not be ditching to head up to Richmond. I know a couple people are considering doing that on Sunday. Forget that.
Really? Wow. Okay. Yep.
Just the crazy people. Just the crazy people. There are a couple conspiracy theorists that think there's going to be like zero competition for the 3K on Sunday in Richmond. And they're considering popping up.
Are these people who've been to the Shattering? The first Shattering?
No, newer players.
No, because I was just going to say, if anyone, I mean, 3,000's a lot. Well, first of all, 3,000's not what you get. The top prize is what, Cap, and the 3,000 sealed?
I think it's 1,200. I'm not 100% sure. I've been trying to like do the math behind the scenes and figure it out, but I think it might be 1,200.
So around $1,200. So Cap, having gone to the Shattering last year, is it worth the? First of all, there's no guarantee, right? You actually have to get it.
Listen,
so the chance at $1,200 or attending all days of the Shattering, is that
what I think
for you?
What I think is going to happen is maybe even if they intend that, they're going to show up, they're going to realize just how nuts and how awesome the Shattering is, and they're not going to want to leave. So even if they think maybe that's what they're going to do, they're not going to do it. It's not going to happen. The Shattering's just the Shattering was the single greatest community event I've ever gone to for nerddom in my entire lifespan. So
clip it, promote it, print it. I guess print it and then promote it. All right, well, listen, we have some spoilers here from Grace, and let's see, got them up on the screens. For folks who are following along, if you want to take a look yourself, you can head to radishdigital.com/spoilers. This is courtesy of Grace. We've got all these up here.
Exciting.
And I'm going to go ahead. Let me make it maybe a little bit bigger. All right, Grace, which one do you want to start with to talk about? And we'll go ahead and enlarge that image so folks can see.
Did you ask which one I wanted to start with?
Yes.
Slappy, did you ask which one I wanted to start with?
Yeah, unfortunately, we're very excited. Grace has a new position, and so her connection is not the best. So, all right, hold on a second. Is that we're going to, sorry for these technical difficulties. Actually, do you mind in the Capricorn?
She's just trolling you. It's fine.
She is not. Hold on one second. And come back. We'll have her do the old turn off the computer and turn it back on, except she'll hop off and hunt. All right, Cap, you're lucky. These are Grace's highlights. And so we're going to let you have the pick on which one you'd like to look. We've got Thirst for Battle, the Lubricated Lightning. We have Rin Striker, Black and Soul cards, and we have Infusion and Knighthood. Which one do you want to go with?
You know what? I've been dying to get some more item destruction, so let's start with Icarite Infusion.
Oh, all right.
Let's start with this guy.
All right, and you can go, let's see. Let me put us on the side so you can read the text. Let's see. If you want to go ahead and read that text, Cap.
And just as a reminder, these are Grace's 6 spoilers. She was gifted these as her exclusive spoilers, and she was gracious enough, no pun intended, to share this with our stream today and unveil these live here. So thank you to Grace. So Ichorite Infusion, a 3-cost secondary spell. It is a Rite of Focus. It's a core card, so you're going to need that Patria land with a link. Destroy target item. If it was equipped to a wonder, put a number of -1 counters on that wonder equal to the item's cost. Really interesting card. I like that we get more item destruction. Usually when I'm building my decks, I'm trying to think of like, we need a little bit of that in there. We need like, which one do I choose? And so having a new card in the mix, and we don't know its DBS value yet, and that will make a significant impact on how good it ends up being. But just exciting just to even have that. But on top of it, really, really good at getting rid of equipment. There are some problematic, pesky equipments in the game right now that I would love to use this on. You could use it on an utterly complex compound bow if you somehow are able to target it prior to get rid of the shield counter. But if you're clever and you line things up, use this as your second thing that targets it. Not only do you get rid of the bow, but you can kill the thing that it's equipped to. That thing costs 5, the utterly complex compound bow, and it can single-handedly turn games. So line things up well enough, and you're probably killing the wonder it's on and getting rid of the bow, which is nice. And it's even better on any equipment that isn't the bow, because you don't have to worry about jumping through those initial hoops.
Grace, thanks for, I think we have you back now. Is that correct, Grace?
Let's see if this is working better now. Can y'all hear me?
We can.
It's garbled, isn't it?
It's a little bit, Grace. Hey, and by the way, Grace, while we've got you back, I just want to, Elizabeth asking for a shout out. There's your shout out, Elizabeth. Also, Flexio, thanks for joining us today. Broughton has mentioned, by the way, 1,000 for first place at the $3,000 shield and $700. So again, it falls into that. Would you rather go to the shattering, or would you rather have a not guaranteed chance at possibly 1,000? Morning, Jay. Welcome for joining us as usual.
Oh, shattering 1,000%.
Yeah, the shattering 1,000. All right, so Carolina girl, Grace, I'm not sure if you heard everything that Cap talked about, but any other comments about the infusion? And again, these are Carolina girl, Wonders Workshop. These are the spoilers that she is sharing with us here on Creators of the First. Thanks for sharing that with the community, Grace, and sharing it here. But any other thoughts? Cap likes destroying things. He likes having another quiver in his arsenal so that he can destroy more things. What are your thoughts, Grace?
I heard Cap mentioning the utterly complex compound bow, and I think especially with some of the changes that I think we're going to see in Call of the Stones with some beefing up of some equipment support, this is going to go really well and could be extremely powerful. I love that we're getting the 2-in-1 destroy, particularly in an uncommon. It just feels really awesome.
Well, and let me ask you something, Cap, from somebody who's obviously not an advanced player like you, but how you kind of touched on it, but in terms of complementing it. So, you were saying you're looking for more ways to destroy. Did you feel coming out of existence that was something that was missing and that you wanted to see that? And you're glad that, like, so when they were crafting Call of the Stones, they said, right, when they're crafting the set, they have to decide on what they're going to do, spells or weapons. Or do you think it was, from a player's perspective, they did what they needed to do by adding this additional destruction?
I don't necessarily think existence was lacking per se. I think it checked off the boxes it needed to check off. But just like with any game, when you get a new set and you're doubling the card pool, you're going to double the options you have for each different sort of thing you're trying to do in the game. You're going to double the options of lands. You're going to double the options of cards that remove threats. And it's the versatility that I'm excited about. It's not that we necessarily needed more things that kill stuff. It's that we need more options of things that kill stuff to choose from. And that's this. I mean, Grace hit it on the head. The fact that this can be a 2-for-1, right? You play one card, you get rid of their best equipment, and potentially that wonder that it's equipped to with just your one action, your one card. And it probably costs them multiple actions, multiple cards for those two things. So this can be really valuable when you line it up right.
Grace?
Yes.
Yeah, just any thoughts in terms of how they would do that? I'm curious from when you're looking at Existence versus Call of the Stones. Of course, they use DBS to manage how the game could to prevent the game from being broken. And so let me ask you, Grace, is that how much did they use the new set Call of the Stones to kind of institutionalize ways to make the game more playable, survivable, less breakable, right? DBS is what they can use during the set season. But this, I mean, am I wrong, guys? Like, and I could be looking this all wrong, but to me, this is a chance for them to see what they had to do with DBS and say, okay, we can make this formal and we don't have to worry about messing around with DBS. Am I wrong, Grace, in saying that? Or oh, it looks like Grace hopped off. Wait, hold
she
on a second.
disappeared.
Yeah. All right, we got her back. Grace, I'm not sure
I
if you
got
heard.
moved backstage somehow. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Growing pains.
Grace, I'm not sure if you heard the question though.
I did.
Okay.
I think what we're going to see is really like how we see interactions with cards between sets is something that's really going to have to develop, particularly for DBS, as we see cards that combo extremely well in ways that weren't anticipated. In order to make sure that DBS has longevity to it, we're going to have to make sure that their team is going to have to make sure that they've figured out that balance right in DBS. I think that question.
Yeah, no, thanks. Cap, I know that Grace, we only have her for 30 minutes. And so I'm going to go on to the next one. So Grace, which one would you like to look at next? We looked at one of your spoilers. We looked at Infusion. What's the next one you'd like to look at?
Let's look at Thirst for Battle.
Okay, and so Thirst for Battle is, we'll go ahead and we'll say trigger all on attack abilities of wonders you control in target realm and adjacent realms. So talk to us about this, Grace, and what this spoiler says to you.
I am really excited for this because, we've heard people say that Sulfera is kind of the orbital with the least play right now, and maybe the least love is maybe not the way that I've heard it worded, but people don't play as much Sulfera because a lot of the removal and the stuff that its biggest isn't super meta. I think we're going to see a change more towards attack heavy decks with some of the new mechanics like Rage, and so I think this card is going to go extremely hard in decks like that.
Cap?
This card just looks nuts to me.
Yeah.
The fact that you can trigger all of your on attack abilities without having to attack could be really nuts. Like if your opponent has a Death Striker and they're going to win the combat, but you really need to trigger your on attack abilities, like just casting this, getting to trigger those abilities and not actually putting anything at risk is kind of awesome. Or even if they don't have Death Strike, if you just have a bunch of wonders with on attack abilities in a realm and you control the stone, but they have more power, you want to trigger those on attack abilities, but you don't want to attack because they'll win the combat and take the stone from you. You just play this and you get them all without having to do the thing. I haven't really thought super deeply about how to take advantage of that yet, but there's definitely a ton of potential there for getting value out of this card.
Well, think about flying.
Right. Does flying count as an on-attack ability?
Last I checked, it's an on-attack ability that triggers at the end of combat.
That's interesting. So it's almost kind of like how Symbiosis counts as an on-arrival, even though it doesn't explicitly say on-arrival.
Yeah.
There's probably
also an on-attack ability that triggers, but it triggers at a different. Like there's a couple of on-attack abilities that trigger at really weird times.
That's interesting. So anything that you'd want to trigger without actually attacking is going to be really, really cool with this. You know, like if your opponent's playing a bunch of stuff that has like on defense triggers, things that if you actually attack, you're going to give them all this value. You're going to have all these things that trigger for them. You could still get your on attacks to trigger with this spell without actually attacking and triggering all of their stuff. And again, I haven't really thought deeply enough to know exactly like what all the best examples of that are, but it seems like there's a ton of potential for a card like this.
Now, you guys are both Magic players, and the way Cap, I'm sure, Grace, if I could see you two, I'd see the same look. Like in Cap's head, he's trying to figure out all the possibilities. Is this not being a Magic player? Is this not something you've seen in Magic? A similar card, similar flavor to similar text?
I wouldn't say so, but that's because the way that abilities work, that like these on attack triggers are so kind of different in Wonders versus in Magic. There are some cards that like will give all of your creatures a certain ability, or you can make things trigger an additional time or stuff. But I can't think of something that does something.
I think the closest Magic adjacent to this would be if you have a bunch of creatures in Magic that have abilities that trigger when you do combat damage to an opponent. And then you have some kind of spell or creature or whatever that gives you a second combat phase on your turn. There are some of those. So you'd be able to attack with everything again and trigger all those things again. But in Magic, those tend to be really, really hard to set up, because Magic games can end really early. With Wonders, you go to 7 no matter what. So you can set yourself up with a ton of on-attack triggers and not worry about the game ending before you get to what you're trying to do. And then later on, play Thirst for Battle and get all of your values. So I think a card like this is actually a little bit better in a game like Wonders than like an equivalent would be. It's interesting.
Grace, were you going to add something?
No, I was agreeing with Cap that a card like this is better in Wonders, just because, like he was saying, how the game is designed and developed.
Okay, well, let's see if you agree with Cap on the next one. Cap, even though these are Carolina Girls Wonders Workshop, you can find her on YouTube. Her spoilers, which one do you want to go next with, Cap, that Carolina Girl Wonders Workshop is sharing with us?
I really want to check out Knighthood.
Oh, okay. So we're going to head over to Knighthood, and this is banish target wonders with cost 3 or less. Create a Knight token in that realm. Attune Boundless. If you control a boundless land, don't spend an action when you play this from your hand. So talk to us about this one, Cap.
This one just seems like it has Rommel written all over it. Rommel loves his knights. And you got to remember, when you have a land in play, you're getting the Attuned Boundless on this. It's going to cost 4, not 5. So for 4 energy and no action, getting rid of any wonder that costs 3 or less and making your own knight, which can be any knight token that you actually have, is just automatic 2-for-1 value. Honestly, just the removal part of this is kind of exciting, because having access to early removal that just gets rid of something that you don't have to, like, I think the closest thing we have in Boundless right now is Divine Breach, which costs an arm and a leg unless you wait until round 7. So either way you slice it, it's really hard to play that early. At 4 energy, you can play this in the early mid game and get rid of something problematic, like a Klee, like a Chieftain Klee. I'll shake my fist at you. And then still create value as well, creating a knight token. You just completely swing the math in that realm, and I think that's exciting.
Yeah, Grace, what are you thinking about for DBS? The way Cap is talking, I think the DBS is going to be high on this, no? Or am I misreading what Cap said?
My first thought when I saw this card was, gosh darn it, it's another broken Attuned Boundless spell. It's another 2-for-1. It's just another Attuned Boundless spell that's going to go absolutely crazy, and it's going to end up having to have a higher DBS, like Cast Out, like the other card that I'm trying to think of isn't coming to my brain. But my first thought was, this is another card like Cast Out. It's just going to be way better than we think it is right off bat, and it's going to be higher than I think. I think it's going to go up.
I do think it's kind of balanced though, because it can't hit some of the really problematic stuff. It can't get rid of a Luminous Scarab. It can't get rid of Sirius Aetherblade. It can't get rid of Nexus. It's not going to be your go-to removal for some of the most problematic cards you might come up against. But what it will be is a really, really good tempo piece, getting rid of an important piece that your opponent's playing in round 2 or 3, getting that value completely off the board and putting your own on in its place. It can just be a really big tempo swing as you're curving out. So I don't think it replaces the need for some other removal in there to deal with the big bads, but it's going to be, I think you're right, Grace. It's going to be pretty nuts when it comes to like leveraging tempo and just really outpacing your opponent.
And Cap, for
a 2-for-1 attuned is mostly what I was looking at. A 2-for-1 attuned spell just in my head automatically falls unbroken.
0 action, get rid of a thing, make a thing. That's actually like 3-for-1.
Yeah.
In a way. It's crazy.
And of course, Cap, you were saying it's not going to be able to take out Scarab or other. So that's going back to, I assume, banish target wonders with cost 3 or less. And that's why you're saying that limits it upside ability.
There will be some bigger nasties, some of the mythics, some of the legendaries that will come out in the last half of the game that, you know, this won't be able to deal with. But that's not really the point of this. This being a 3-for-1 and creating so much value, it's really just supposed to be a tempo tool and put your opponent way behind.
All right. Well, we have a few more that we want to get to here in the last few minutes we have. Grace, talk to us about Black and Soul cards, sacrifice free, return target wonder you own in the Abyss to this realm. You can trade cards for souls. Eventually, your name appears on one.
I think the flavor of this card is just so much fun. And I think what's really interesting is that it's just target wonder. Like there's no limit on what it could be. It could be a Gura Beast. It could be a Azure Sky Station. And I think for that and the fact that it's a sacrifice free are the reasons that core 6, that cost 6 and being core makes sense to me. When I first looked at this, I went like, that's a lot of energy to spend on this. And then I looked at it and I processed it for a minute. I was like, oh, okay, that's what's going on here.
The thing that's great about Wonders is it's so deep in ways that it's just so easy to miss on the surface. So you guys might forget, but there was a little card spoiled in the first batch of spoilers called Trevelyan Mouseheart, which could tap free. All of your cards can use a sacrifice ability without sacrificing it once this round. Think about using Trevelyan Mouseheart with this, and you don't even have to sacrifice your Black and Soul cards, and you get something back, and then it's still there, and if you want to sacrifice it, you can sacrifice it to get something else back later. There's so many crazy synergies built into this game that every single card you look at is always going to be better than what it looks like at first glance because of the different interactions. So I'm excited to see how deep this can go. It's only going to get better when the rest of the set's unveiled. We have no idea what other cards are coming that can interact with this.
No, we don't. But we do have an idea about a few. And so let's see. Cap, here's one that we hadn't got to yet. Rin Striker on play. If you played any items this round, draw a card. Heart of a Legend. Every loadout tells a story. Hers always ends with enemy casualties, cost 5. And this one is, this one's a rare. I know we've been looking at a lot of uncommon. So Cap, your thoughts on Striker?
I would really like Carolina Girl to lead with this one because I have a feeling she loves this. It seems very close to Emma.
I mean,
some Emma vibes.
I mean, y'all know me. I love a good kicktail female card. And she looks like she's going to kicktail. And of course, she's got an awesome on-play ability. Any item, if you played any items, draw a card. Like I said, we're gonna be getting some item support. What I'm wondering about, and maybe I missed this in a video, but I don't think I know what Heart of a Legend does.
Ooh, lucky for you, I do. So one of the cards that was given to, I think, Texan was a lower rarity Heart of a Legend card that explained what it was in reminder text. And Heart of a Legend means that there might be an extra caveat to it that I'm misremembering, but basically, if you control a legend when you play this card, its abilities trigger an additional time. Yeah,
that's awesome. Card draw.
So this would draw you 2 cards instead of 1, which is
And it's
juicy.
not even core.
It's so good. It's almost like a mini one-use bow in a way. Bow gives you like value on the board that also, when it attacks, draws you 2 cards instead of 1. Like bow is a way to use 1 action to draw 2 cards while also still having like some sort of value on the board. In the bow's case, it's like -1 counters that it spits out, like it impacts the board state. Rin just gives you 5 power wherever you want, probably for only 4 energy, and then you get to draw 2 if you line it up right, and it's like a little mini bow for like one action, you know.
Yeah.
I love everything about it.
Speaking of Texan Capricorn, you brought him up. He had this video. So let's go ahead and share
Call
this
of the
video.
Stones, new cards right here for y'all. Hold on to your horses. This is Burnished Blessing. This lady here has to rub something. Watch it. And I guess it's polished and some kind of spell comes out as a result. I won the big gift of the night, a OCM Aether Valkyr. There are only 99 of these puppies, and I got number 55.
All right. Hey, that's from American Texan. If you want to see the whole video, we actually have a link in the description. But I wanted to get that in before we close with the final one. And actually, let's see, the last one, Grace, that you're sharing with them. And again, this is Creators of First. We have Capricorn from Quarantine Capricorn. We have Carolina Girl, known as Grace, known as Wonders Workshop. Grace, I figured that's the reason why I always missay your name, because I'm trying to think, when you have so many names you can be called, I can never think of which one. And now I'm starting to call you Capricorn. That's even worse. We've got Lubricated Lightning. On round start, you may move this to an adjacent realm. If you do, it gets +2 power this round. This is an epic. It is a cost 3. So talk to us about the Lubricated Lightning.
I am ridiculously excited about all of these like movement pieces that we're seeing come together with Call of the Stones, with Guardian, with Rage, with all the things that all the things that trigger or involve moving wonders between places. And with some of the other spoilers we've seen about equipment, or other items like the V8 Wanderer that move wonders around, I think we're really starting to get a good idea of that sort of tempo that we're going to see with items moving around the board more in Call of the Stones than they did in Existence. So I'm really excited to see how that works out.
I am excited about this. So some of you might know, some of you might not, but at the Shattering last year, I played a deck built around Cloudweaver Construct, which at the beginning of the round, you could move it to an empty round, just automatically. Having a dude there ready to attack and take a stone with 1 action without having to use an action to play something first can be really, really powerful if you line it up right. This is very similar, except it's more power. Instead of a 1 power guy, it's a 3 power guy, and it gets a buff if you do it. And you don't have to move it into an empty realm. You can move it to an adjacent realm, which occasionally will be a downside if you want to move it really far. You can't, like the Cloudweaver Construct, but not having to worry about the realm being empty is awesome. This can just move around wherever you want and just be 5 power wherever you want. This card is nuts. It's so crazy.
Yep.
I love it. I'm very excited.
All right. Well, on that note, I want to thank Grace. Congratulations. Do you want to share the information, by the way, before we go?
Yeah, we'll see if I can do this with the video on. I just started last week a brand new job. So I am having my first big girl job. I'm in my office with my name tag, business cards. So I'm very excited about that. It does mean that I'm going to be taking a break from content creation for a little while so that I can focus on getting done what I need to do.
All right. Well, congratulations on the job. That's Grace from Wonders Workshop and Capricorn from Quarantine Capricorn. And that's going to do it for this Creators of the First. Take care, everybody. Have a great week. See you at the Shattering.
From the clash of wonder stories burst